original Hockey Hall of Fame is a museum dedicated to the history of ice hockey in Canada. Located in Kingston, Ontario, it was originally founded on September 10, 1943 as the International Hockey Hall of Fame, incorporated by the National Hockey League and Canadian Amateur Hockey Association. James T. Sutherland, president of the Ontario Hockey Association, sought to establish it in Kingston as he believed it was the birthplace of hockey, and a $4,000 to $5,000 arrangement was made on April 17, 1945 to build a facility for the organization while their first players were inducted on April 30th, although they had yet to find a permanent home. And with the 1955 death of Sutherland, Kingston lost its most influential advocate for the Hockey Hall of Fame due to them lacking sufficient funds. Fed up with waiting, then NHL President Clarence Campbell struck a new deal with the Canadian National Exhibition to build a museum in Toronto, which came to be known as the official Hockey Hall of Fame. Despite the major setback, the boards of directors for the International Hockey Hall of Fame moved forward as in 1962, the municipal government gave them a grant to construct a new building, which would be built adjacent to the Kingston Memorial Centre on 277 York Street. Opening in 1965, the International Hockey Hall of Fame spanned 2 floors. It was decked with all sorts of history about the sport. The first level had exhibits about Bobby Orr, Don Cherry, the original 6, Wayne Gretzky, and other NHL All-Stars, while the second was more devoted to the International Hockey Hall of Fame inductees, plus exhibits on Kingston and area professional hockey players, the World Hockey Association, and the evolution of ice skates and hockey sticks. Artifacts included jerseys worn by superstars like Rocket Richard, 19th century hockey equipment, and the championship banner of the 1914 Toronto Blue Shirts. Outside the building was an oversized rectangular hockey puck, a replica of one in the International Hall of Fame collection used during a game that took place between Queen's University and the Royal Military College on Kingston Harbor on March 16, 1886, often to be regarded as the first organized hockey match played in Ontario. Each February since 1969, the Hall of Fame presents the annual Historic Hockey Series that reenacts the moment with authentic uniforms and game rules, such as 7 players per side and no forward passing, with players from the 2nd Regiment Petawa's Royal Canadian Horse Artillery occasionally participating. Since 2006, the series has been held in the outdoor rink at Springer Market Square. Though if the weather is too warm to play outside, the games are instead held at the Leon Center, which is soon to be renamed the Slush Puppy Center this year. In 1991, the International Ice Hockey Federation reached an agreement with the City of Kingston and International Hockey Hall of Fame to loan exhibits to the museum for a 5-year period from 1992 to 1997, while a permanent display was being planned. Although City Council provided them a $100,000 line, the partnership ended in 1997 when the Ice Hockey Federation withdrew, citing a lack of progress made towards getting construction done. At the turn of the 21st century, it became abundantly clear that the International Hockey Hall of Fame was looking rather dated, as it began looking for new ground. In July 2011, the group behind development of the former Smith & Robinson department store in Ontario Princess publicly proposed moving the Hockey Museum to their historic building, just a block away from the then-named K-Rock Center, where the Kingston Frontenacs have been playing since their relocation from Memorial Center in 2008. While representatives of the Hall of Fame were receptive to the idea, including Rick Smith and Don Cherry, they expressed frustration with the city for not doing enough to make the move happen, and a Kingstonist poll showed that 63% of Kingstonians were opposed to its relocation. Though much like what happened to the Science Museum in Ottawa, after a growth of mold was found on the roof due to a lack of maintenance, the City of Kingston ordered the International Hockey Hall of Fame to be demolished and offered a relocation to the INVISTA Centre, a 4-pad ice rink that opened on Gardiners Road in May 2008. The organization had earlier changed their name to the original Hockey Hall of Fame in May 2012 and would be the name for the new museum that opened on March 13, 2013, with special appearances by Cherry and sports journalist Bill Fitzel. Built in the space of a former meeting room, sandwiched between the Selkirk Rink and the Desjardins Rink, the latter of which is used by the Kingston Voyageurs, the museum is a condensed version of the Hall of Fame's collection, the majority of which lies in storage as the original Hockey Hall of Fame persisted in building a new downtown facility, though not much progress was made. In 2015, the Hall of Fame underwent a $250,000 renovation by Show Communications that saw the upgrading of displays and a new mini auditorium named the William J. Henderson Theater, which is named after a supporter of the renovation and is designed to look like an ice rink. It shows a loop screening of a 12-minute short film named The Cradle of Hockey, narrated by Don Cherry as it supports the belief on why Kingston is the sport's birthplace. Speaking of Mr. Grapes, displayed next to some of his suits was a sculpted bust of the former Coach's Corner host that played a projected animation of commentary on a famous hockey star from Kingston, though the effect was removed many years later. Free of admission, the Hockey Hall of Fame used to be open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., though on October 8, 2016, a pair of hockey cards that were donated by a community member were stolen by a young boy due to a lack of staff at the time, thus resulting in the museum closing much earlier at 6 p.m., rarely being open to the public during afternoon sessions. On November 16, 2018, the 75th anniversary of the Hall of Fame was marked by 3 events, both of which involved the Stanley Cup and Memorial Cup, 2 trophies that were later displayed at INVISTA for an afternoon event. The museum closed down in 2019 for a lengthy renovation that was completed on June 8, 2022, which mainly focused on the expansion of an old exhibit dedicated to the Memorial Cup, as unveiled by Kingstonian Aaron Luchuk, who took the prize home for the Windsor Spitfires in 2017. Filmed in the spring season of last year, here's a complete tour of the Kingston Hockey Hall of Fame as it stands today. Thank you and enjoy.
favorite part of that team about? They say records are meant to be broken, but they're not. I hope it's never break.
This year, for the first time, the league will be composed of 12 teams.
Those words spoken in 1967 changed the face of hockey forever. The 16 league was no more, and soon over a dozen teams were in pursuit of Lord Stanley's Cup. A mere 7 years after their inception, the Philadelphia Flyers found themselves in the finals, looking to gain respect from their storied opponent, the Boston Bruins.
There's a sort of broad street things. You have to mention modern hockey, and so on and so forth.
But that talent was up against the likes of Bobby Orr, Phyllis Casino, and the Howard Boston Globe. In the Flyers' history, they managed only one win on the Bruins' home ice, games without a victory. Cage was a battle that might have taken
That's what makes it special.
In the extra period, Flyers captain Bobby Flores ended the streak.
A couple guys had to, maybe not play as much.
Their record when Kingston said God bless America was an astounding 36 wins and 3 losses. Beating off the excitement, the Flyers were up first. After McLeish's goal, it was the Bernie Barrage show. Shut the door on Boston, the Flyers opened a new chapter in history. They split the first 2 games in New York, but as they headed to Edmonton, the Oilers were still trying to silence their critics.
All kinds of things written about us. Everyone didn't have the character, didn't have the determination, didn't have the guts, didn't have what it took to be winners.
But midway through game 3, Mark Messier proved that theory wrong.
I think that's the point. But I feel that they wanted to survive. I thought you would know what we do. That, that was the good part of this. And that.
Edmonton swept the next 3 games in the
joined Sutherland's project, and he became their captain and a top scorer. Those who recall his play at Toronto newspaper and remark will remember how he used to get a fast shot to full